And he speaks to them as thieves and robbers, and actually also calls them hired hands. And this is what's so fascinating about the hired hand moment in this passage. Because the hired hand who cares for the sheep is in it really for only one reason: what they're getting out of the deal. Because the minute there's a threat that happens to the sheep, what happens to the hired hand? Gone. He's in it only for the money, only for what he can get. Can I just be real about media again? For some of us, man, we have allowed the media and the influences around us to just wreak havoc on our young people. And let me just tell you, though technology itself is neutral, the motivations behind them are not neutral. In fact, so much of it that promises to be amazing is just in it for the money. If you've ever watched the documentary, The Social Dilemma, that came out in 2020, let me just tell you a little bit about what the designers of a lot of these social media engines and leaders said about the things that they created. There's a guy who is a former Facebook VP of user growth. He said, we wanted to psychologically figure out how to manipulate you as fast as possible and then give you that dopamine hit, and we did it brilliantly. Sean Parker, Facebook's first president, said that it's exactly the kind of thing that a hacker like myself would come up with, because you're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology. And I think that we, and he goes on to say, the inventors, creators, me, Mark Zuckerberg, Kevin Systrom at Instagram, all these people, they understood this. And we did it anyway. Why? Because it's money. It's money. They're in it for the money. Now, I'm not here to villainize Facebook or Instagram or all that stuff. Like, we use it as a church, and we can use it as a tool, but let me tell you, the motivations for why it keeps your attention and why you scroll in the infinity scroll, it's not neutral. It's not neutral. Do you understand? The strangers, the thieves, the robbers, the hired hands, the wolves that are out there. Now watch this. Here's the damage that happens when we're not guarding this carefully, okay? The Trojan horse that overpromises and underdelivers. Jonathan Haidt, in his book, The Anxious Generation, has said that overprotection in the real world, watch this, parents, and underprotection in the virtual world, this has led to some of the gigantic shifts that we're seeing right now. Shifts in depression, anxiety for American teenagers, which began right around 2011, 2013. Watch this. The number of teenage girls admitted to the hospital every year because of self-harm is up 62% for older teens and a staggering 189% for preteen girls. We see the same pattern, he says, with suicide. Older girls, 15 and 19, up 70%, and preteen girls, 151%. And that's just the young ladies. The young men are facing similar things. Tim Kendall, the former Facebook executive and Pinterest president, said, it's plain as day to me, these services are killing people, causing people to kill themselves. The addiction to screens. Average age of someone 13 and younger, 21 hours of screen time per week. It's led to a reduction in attention spans, disrupted sleep, behavior issues, lower physical activity, weakened social skills. Let me tell you, these things need to be guarded. Guarded. Because there's thieves, there's robbers, there's strangers, there's wolves, and they want to climb in over the gate. And Jesus says, not with my people. Not with my people. Because they own their responsibility to be the gatekeeper for their soul and their family.